We've all heard of cute aggression, you know, when you have a pet or a loved one, they do something very cute or really nice and you just want to like hug them or squish them so hard that their like eyes pop out and they explode. But like with love, you know? So one of my closest friends did something really nice for me recently. It genuinely made me cry. But because we're living on different continents, I cannot actually physically go hug my friend until they explode. So since that option is off the table, I'm gonna have to express my love and affection the only other way I know how, which is through crafting. I have 2 crafts that I'm planning on doing for my friend, but before we actually get started, I wanted to give you a little bit of context into what my friend did for me. So strap yourself in for a long intro. So it's basically been extensively established on this channel that I am a Swiftie. Before you click away, no, you don't need to be a Swiftie to understand and appreciate this video or this channel, honestly. But yeah, back in October when the last album dropped, I decided to become a vinyl and CD collector for a few reasons that we don't need to get into today. There were quite a few variant drops for this album, but my favorite one, unfortunately, that variant was only available at Target in the US. That variant was made available on the European store, but I was not fast enough and it sold out before I was even aware that it was on sale. So I was really bummed that I didn't get it. And then I remembered one of my best friends lives in the US. I texted my friend Ellie, who was like, hey, could you just check out if they still have them at Target and like how much that would cost? So how much the album would cost as well as the shipping. And I could do the math if that was like something that I wanted to do. Anyway, so the next text I get back from them just says, I got you the album. So here is footage of me receiving that. Today is like the 30th of January. So I just got this today. Let's see what's inside. Like a little caterpillar. Oh my God. Oh my God. Me and Ellie collectively decided to go ham on the bubble wrap because I'd heard so many people had gotten the vinyls and they had been broken because of this shipping. So I was like, Ellie, you just need to like wrap the living daylights out of it. And boy, is it wrapped. It's beautiful. Oh, there's a different poem. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's like iridescent. Oh my God, it's beautiful. This little caterpillar is gonna live next to my little giraffe. I was extremely overwhelmed with how nice of a gesture this was. I really want to do something that will make Ellie feel overwhelmingly loved. If there's crying involved in the opening of this package, it was exactly what I intended to happen. So the 2 items that I want to make for my friend are 1, a face mask, and 2, a tote bag. They both seem like very simple, easy projects, and they are sort of straightforward, but there's a little bit more depth. Maybe a month before we had the chat about the album, they'd asked me if I could, whenever I had time, like no rush, make them a face mask. Again, for context, Ellie is a zoologist and uses face masks a lot for work and for like, I don't know, life. So I decided that this was the perfect time to like actually get to it and actually make it. So to make face masks, you want to use 100% cotton. And because face masks like this have 2 layers, you have the outer layer and then you want to do another sort of lining layer, which is perfect for embroidery because like you can embroider the outer layer and then encase all of those little knots and like the back of the embroidery with the lining. So it's perfect for that. And Ellie requested teeny tiny animals. I started drawing some animals, but I was having a hard time like finding inspiration and really being able to draw them really small. So eventually I went to the library and got out a bunch of books on zoology so that I would have better references and have an easier time drawing them basically. Yeah, so eventually I got all my drawing. I wanted it to be just outlines. I'm going to do this in a rainbow order. The outlines are going to be in that color of the rainbow, and I'll have animals that are like blending into from one color to the other to kind of really give you that impression of the colors changing over. So first I did the embroidery. That took me a little while because I was using just one strand of embroidery floss. Once I was finished with the embroidery, I could actually get started with sewing it. Basically, I sewed 2 pieces to each other along the front seam, the 2 embroidery to each other, and then the 2 lining to each other. And then I just sew them together, basically like bag lining. You leave a little gap and you sew all around, flip it right side out. You can give it a little press if you want to. I added top stitching to close the little gap and also like all around, just to make it sure that it stays like nice and flat. And then I folded the little edges at the side to create a casing for the elastic, and I just threaded some elastic through. So with the mask done, I could focus on the other project that I had for my friend, which is to make them a project bag. I've made this project bag a couple of times. One of them I actually made here a video, so you can go and check that out if you want to. I had this fabric that always reminded me of Ellie because this is their favorite color, and I found this other fabric for lining. It really goes with the blue for one, and then it has this like really lovely bird and little mushrooms and stuff. Like I said, Ellie is a zoologist, but their specialty, I don't know enough of what my friends do, but I think their specialty is birds. They actually have a pet hawk. I think the hawk is a pet. Birds are a big deal for Ellie. So I thought this fabric really reminded me of them. First things first, I cut out all of my pieces. The outer fabric is a cotton drill. It's like a twill weave, but with smaller yarn, so it's like a lightweight twill. It's 100% cotton. It's like a leftover. I've kept this for so long. I made the skirt for my Dodo Airlines cosplay from this fabric, so I've been saving it from then. Once I had all my fabric cut, I also cut out the batting and added some quilting lines. I'm leaving them really wide, so I did that. I did all of the quilting for it. I started prepping the straps and making the pockets. The way you make this bag is like first you place the pockets and then you like sew the things together. I thought, what if I flipped it and I did the pockets with the lining facing out? It would look so cool. It would have this like really fun contrast. It looked really cool. So I decided to do it that way. So I stitched in the pockets. For the longer, bigger pockets, I added a stitching line down the middle to like divide it into 2 pockets. And then I added snaps for the pockets to close. It's so annoying. I don't know. Every time I use the little like snap pliers, I hate using it. I think it's so fiddly, but I don't use it enough to like justify investing in like a better quality, sort of bigger one that's more stable. So I just have to suffer through. Anyway, so I added the snaps to that and then I started sewing the bag together. What I like to do is I like to sew up all of the sides and create sort of like a box. And then I add the bottom of the bag and then I do the same for the lining. And once I've done that, I can shove them into each other, sew them together with right sides together, add the straps sandwiched in between. Don't forget to add the straps. Leave a little gap so you can flip it right side out, which is always such a pain to do, but yeah, and then the sewing is done. So let's go and have a look at the final reveal. So that's the mask. I think it turned out so stinking cute. It's really fun. I think it looks really cool. The stitching is really fine. I think it really paid off. It looks really cool, I think. I am too asthmatic to wear this for any longer than I already have. So like, it's always bittersweet to give it away because I really want my friend to have it and I made it with this specific person in mind. They're going to love it, but it's always like bittersweet to have to let go of the cool art that you make. Here is the bag. I think it turned out so cute. Like this color is so vibrant. It just looks so cool. I think I don't know, I just think it just looks so cool. I don't know what to tell you. I added blue snaps to this bit because that was my plan, was to add blue snaps. And then when I was adding them, I realized that I didn't have enough snaps for the whole bag. I had enough for the pockets. I'm kind of glad I used blue because it's sort of more inconspicuous. You can't really tell that they're there unless I point it out. And then I used these red heart-shaped ones for the bag itself. I wanted to add snaps to this bag because I want to give my friend the option to close it if they want to. This fabric is really nice. It's like very soft, the drill. And this, I think it's from Tilda originally, quilting cotton. And I think the inside also looks really cool. And I added a little tag that says handmade on it. So yeah, I love it. I think it's so cool. It turned out really well. I'm really excited for my friend to have it. Thanks for coming along with me on this weird video. I don't usually make things like this. I'm working on a cool like vintage outfit but I've been a little bit too sick to work on that consistently. And because I had a lot of footage from making these things, so I thought I would, make a fun video about it and buy myself a little bit of time to finish the other projects before I share them to you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this silly video. Now for the usual things, if you haven't already, you can consider subscribing to my channel. I post a new video every other Friday, and they're usually about vintage sewing, but not always. I'd also like to remind you that you can purchase my sewing planner. It's a digital printable, and that is available at my coffee shop. I will leave it linked below. You can also support me on Coffee if you would like to, like leave me a tip or something like that. And you can also, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. All of these things are going to be linked below. As always, I will link everything that I can that I used in this video below, so you can go and check it out if you want to. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.